Okay, hi everyone. This is Maggie Ostara, and I'm delighted to welcome you here to our Feminine Sovereign Chart-a-Thon. So I did one of these with 3 other people, I don't know, maybe a month ago or something like that, with a number of my colleagues who are advanced students of Karen Curry Parker over on the Human Design for Everyone Facebook page. And it was so much fun. When I started doing this work with feminine sovereignty, I thought, oh, this would be great. It's something that'll help me in terms of getting to see how you all are understanding and identifying things, and getting some more feedback from you about how your chart relates to your feminine sovereign archetype, and for you to see me comment on a bunch of charts, which is always fun. And I want to let you know that I received over 40 charts, and there's no possible way I could do all of them today. And so I'm going to do another one of these in 2 weeks on the 23rd, I think, whatever 2 weeks is from today. And so I invite you to come to that one as well. And I'm going to aim to do about 20 charts today. That's what I put together in a document. Most of them I haven't even looked at yet. I haven't had a chance to look at them. So this is going to be very on the fly, taking a look at this and seeing what you said was the archetype that you got, and then what's happening in your chart. I also suggested that you could share a question if you had one, and I'm going to kind of see how that goes, if it makes sense for me to try to do questions, because that's probably going to slow things down quite a bit. And so just in the interest of time, to keep things moving, I may not dive into your questions. So please don't take that personally if I don't really look at your questions. I think what's going to be interesting is just to kind of see what the relationship between the archetypes is and what's going on in the charts. And I am going to invite you. I have Melissa, who is on supporting our Chart-a-Thon today, and me, and she can respond to at least some questions that you have, not human design questions, but other logistical questions. And if she doesn't know something, she can, she can let me know, and we can get back to you. And I do invite you to share as we go along ahas that you have, or additional questions that you have, comments. It's great when we have a nice flowing chat happening, and that can happen on Facebook too. You know what, let me see if I can get over to where it's streaming on Facebook. Melissa's going to let me know about, don't you just love the way that Facebook is continually changing things? So you have to try to become new with it all the time. Okay, where is it in the event? It might be in the event. I thought it was on the page. Melissa, are you seeing the event streaming on the Facebook page? Yeah, there it is. Okay, got it. There we go. Got it. So for those of you who are there over on Facebook, do the same thing. Please share, say hi. All right, so just a couple of, let me just say hi to a few of you here. So, okay, hi Carol, hi Julie, hi Dilek, hi Nancy, hi Jennifer, hi Marlene, hi Lisa, hi Ike, I'm not sure if that's right, Michelle, Anna, another Michelle, Cecilia, Kristen, Jessica, Rachel, Candy, Dee Singh, Diana, Suzanne, Deborah, Lane, Michelle, Lee, Stacy, Becky. I don't know if I got all of you, but I'm trying. I always like to just say hi to all of you. Thank you for being here. All right, so let's see. So a couple of things I want to let you know about. I have had over just about 600 people take the quiz. And there's, like I said, over 40 of you submitted your charts. And I want to let you know what the breakdown was of the charts in terms of the archetypes. So we had 7 New World Leader and 7 High Priestess, which is fairly consistent with the overall, although there's more. High Priestess is the number 1 result, and New World Leader is number 2. And then we had 3 Earth Mothers, 2 Queens, and 1 Visionary. And that is the, in terms of the breakdowns with the quizzes, we have 198 High Priestesses, 148 New World Leaders, 133 Wise Women, 59 Earth Mothers, and 62 Visionaries, and 42 Queens. And one of the things that was really interesting to me is that Queen has actually been the lowest, which is very interesting, right? When you can think of feminine sovereign archetypes, I might have thought that Queen would be higher. So that's very fascinating to me. And I want to continue to kind of dig into that and see what that's all about. It may be that a lot of us, even though we use the term Queen many times, either about ourselves or about others, you know, we say so-and-so is the queen of, like my friend Darla Ledoux is the queen of transformational retreats, right? We use that term, but it may not be something that we identify with in terms of so much of the qualities of Queen that are more, you know, have a longevity, and that archetype has been around a really long time. High Priestess has been around a really long time. And so that, just wanted to give you that little breakdown. I also want to remind you that everyone has the whole chart. Okay, so the parts that are colored in your chart are defined, which means you have ongoing, ready, reliable access to those energies and a consistent, even fixed way of experiencing them. The parts that are black are going to be more obvious to you, and the parts that are red are going to be a little more subconscious to you. So depending on how your life has gone and how you've responded in your life experience and how you've grown and evolved, more and more those will become available to you and obvious to you. But the white parts of the chart you also have. Those are what we call open. And you have experienced all of those parts of the chart many, many different times throughout your life, depending on who you've been around. And you take in that energy and then you amplify it. So you have a pretty strong, intimate relationship with all of those energies. You just don't have a consistent, reliable, and even fixed way of experiencing them. They're going to come and go and come and go and come and go. Now, what I have discovered through my own life experience and through working with clients and doing readings is that you can develop a pretty strong relationship with the open parts of your chart. So for me, for example, my open throat, I've developed a very strong relationship with my open throat because I've been teaching for so many years. And part of that has been around groups and presenting in groups and having my throat defined many, many different ways. I have 9 electromagnetics or hanging gates to my throat. So my throat gets defined many, many different ways. And it's happening now, even being here with you virtually. I'm still picking up on your energies. But I've been teaching for so long, so I've developed my relationship with those energies. It doesn't mean that I can't have some of the embarrassing parts of the open throat on occasion, you know, blurting or speaking out of turn or not being heard. Although now, since I've learned this in human design, it doesn't happen anywhere near as much because I know about waiting to speak up at the right time. But also, like with the sensing circuit, I have only 1 gate defined in the entire sensing circuit, but I have a very highly developed felt sense from the inside of my consciousness, and a very developed inner relationship with my inner physicality, if you will. And so you can totally do that. So I just want to say that because one of the things that I've heard from people is saying, oh, well, you know, I got the High Priestess, but I don't have the 51 defined in my chart. Okay. So you don't necessarily have to have it defined in your chart in order for you to feel that energy strongly. Okay. So that's one thing. You just won't feel it consistently over time. Let's say you grew up with a parent who had that energy defined in their chart. You would have been basically bombarded with that energy all the time. And so you could have developed a relationship with that energy. So part of our journey, as it were, as we're looking at our chart and we're looking at the archetypes and then we're looking at ourselves, because of course you are not your chart and you are not the archetypes. They're all like maps and guidance to us to help us to number one, understand ourselves better, but then number two, to also give us more options about how we can navigate the world in a way that really enlivens us and empowers us and enables us to bring forth the contribution that we came here to make, to express our gifts and our talents, and to really live the fullest, most joyous, most satisfying life possible. So that's what they are. Sometimes people get really hung up and they think that they are their chart. So I want to make sure that I separate that out. Okay. All right. So let me just think if there's anything else I want to let you know about. I do want to let you know that the Becoming Sovereign Journey with the Archetypes program that goes in depth with all of the archetypes and also the 8 pillars of feminine sovereignty. I've kept enrollment for that program open for another week. I felt because I had so many people who took the quiz in the last week or so, and also we were doing these chart-a-thons. I wanted to give you the opportunity to participate in that program if you want to. And so, Melissa, if you can just pop that URL in the chat, that would be great. And then, so you can go and check it out and see, and I'm also extending the bonuses for that to everyone. So there's $150 off the retail price. And then there's also a half-hour human design reading with me in relation to the archetypes. So if you are interested in going deeper, that's going to be an option for you to do that. And it's all self-paced. So even though I've already dropped some of the lessons, you can come on in and join us for the live. And I'm not going to actually be adding some more live sessions in the new year as well. So just know that you're not late if you want to participate in that. And I think we have a couple of people on who are actually in the program. If you guys want to say anything about that, that'd be great. And then we'll go from there. Okay. So let me also just say that when I was originally associating the archetypes with the human design chart, okay, that's what I was doing, is I was feeling into these archetypes who really were like calling to me from the imaginal realm. I think if you've watched my videos, you've heard me talk about that or felt that place. And then I was like, well, where, they're also going to relate to the chart. And what is that? How does that help us understand the archetypes and what they can provide for us, what they might want to share with us and help, how they want to help us grow. And then how does it help us understand our charts better, and the attributes that we have, and to value and appreciate some things that maybe have been undervalued. So as I did that, I just want to say that this is an ongoing process. Like, so for example, I just developed the module or the lesson on the High Priestess yesterday for the Journey with the Archetypes program. And I did 2 lessons that are almost an hour each, just on the High Priestess. And one of them was all about human design. And what is happening as I'm diving more into the archetypes and diving more into human design, I'm seeing these different ways in which there are there's these associations. And so I know that in the kind of the first swipe that you got with the original results, I just said that the High Priestess was related to the gate 51, for example. But she's also related to the gate 61, which is the gate of wonder, and to the knowing circuit, and to other parts of the chart as well. I'm not going to go into a lot of depth with that, although I may mention it in terms of a particular chart. And then the other piece is that remember that these are not hard and fast differentiations, if that makes sense, right? It's like all of these archetypes are leaders in their own terrain, right? They're sovereigns of their terrain. And so the High Priestess or the Earth Mother are probably going to have leadership qualities as well, right? So they may have the 31 or the 45, right? Or they may not. And so just to realize that this is it's an inquiry, right? It's a creative inquiry. And I am in it with you, and I'm loving that you're putting all the comments in the chat. I'm not going to stop and read them right now because I'll get really off track. But I will read all of them later, and I really value your input because we're developing this body of work, and it's exciting, and we're doing it together. Okay, so let me okay, I'm going to go ahead and start looking at charts. Okay, let's just see. Okay, I don't think there's anything over there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with, here we go. Oops. Okay, so can you just put a a yes in Facebook and in Zoom if you can see the chart here? So everybody see that okay? It looks like I'm getting yeses. Okay, let me just put that over there. Yep, okay, great. I always just like to check before I start diving into that too much. Okay, so this is Wanda, and she received the New World Leader as her primary archetype. Oh, the other thing I want to say is that many of you have taken the quiz more than once, and you have come up with different archetypes at different times. I identify in some ways with all of them, but really strongly with like 3 of them. So I am not surprised at all about that. It's not meant to be the kind of typing where, you're just this and you're kind of in this box. Not at all. It's more about the qualities of these archetypes that can support you in your life to become more empowered and more awakened, and also to tip you off to the places where you may be in the shadow state or the disempowered state. And so that's another place for you to look at as you're going through this. And that's also why in doing the journey with the archetypes is actually a really great idea, because you may not realize that you're acting out a shadow or a disempowered part of an archetype that you don't otherwise identify with. And it can really help you understand that part. Okay, so Wanda is a 5/1 projector, and she is like New World Leader. Okay, so let's see where I'm going to just put on my glasses here. Okay, well, so the first thing that jumps out for me around her leadership is the gate 40, and actually all of these gates that she's got on the will center. So the 40 is really, it's half of the channel of the bargain. And it's called loneliness in traditional human design. I think it can be more about needing alone time, because this person, this energy is engaged in tribal communications and making sure that everybody's getting on the same page with agreements that work for everyone. Okay, that's definitely a quality that your New World Leader is gonna need. I mean, one of the things that we could look at would just be, we've got storytelling here in the 13. We've got 15, love of humanity, right? Which is that overall appreciation. All of the, one of the pillars of feminine sovereignty is benevolence. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put on little timer for myself, because I could end up spending like 10 minutes just talking about one chart. I'm not going to do that. Okay, let me just start this. Okay. right, is benevolence. And so benevolence can definitely be here in this 15. And so she also has this energy, which I have associated more with the visionary, but this is the known as the Martin Luther King gate, right? So she's got both provocation and fighting for what's right. And so those are also energies. They're, you know, the 39 is like a pattern interrupt energy. And then the 38 is knowing what's worth fighting for, because we can't, you know, as leaders, we can't take on all issues, right? We have to make our selection. And one of the things that any of the feminine sovereign archetypes need to do, and what they already do, and what we need to do in our own lives, this is another one of the pillars of feminine sovereignty, is to know what your terrain is. So that gate 38 can really help her with that aspect, okay? Is so that she's not dispersing herself onto too many different things, but getting really focused on what her terrain is. Then she can use that energy of the 39, which is provocative, and that 51 that can also help break patterns, to be able to lead us into a new way of thinking and a new way of being, which is a lot of what projectors are here to do for us in any event. So those are the things that just jump out to me here. You know, she's got some of the logic circuit, which is part of that energy for the New World Leader, and she's got some collective energy in the sensing circuit and in logic, which are the two collective energies, the subcircuits of the collective circuitry. So that is also what we need to be able to take all of our understanding of who we are as a collective to the next level. Okay, so Wanda, if you are there, I would love for you to just put in the chat your response to what I just said. Okay, so moving on, we're here with Kira, and she is a queen. And so the thing that really jumps out to me about her chart regarding the queen is she's got all this tribal energy going on right in here. Okay. And so the queen, which is, you know, associated with the 45, which is the end of the tribal circuit, is that it's really a tribal energy. So if we think about the queen, she is more about her people in a tribal sense, whereas the New World Leader is more about the collective, is really a global perspective. The queen, not so much. She has a more defined terrain. And so for you, Kira, here, you've got all this energy here around how the tribe operates, both in terms of the defense circuit here, which is about how we sustain the tribe, how we nourish the tribe, how we know who we are as a tribe, and then also about how we do agreements and how we do commerce, how we have the big ideas we need to have in order to be able to make to make the tribe work. So I would think that your queen potentially could be there, kind of in that tribal circuitry. You also have the ability to really vision with the 41, and you've got also this beautiful energy of joy, which I hope that you're giving yourself lots of opportunities to experience your joy, which is where your sun is. And it's in the third line. So you're going to be experiencing lots and lots and lots of different ways of creating joy in your life. And how else to be more magnetic or more radiant than to be doing that? And that's one of the key characteristics of the queen, is her radiance, right? Radiance and magnetism is actually another one of the pillars of feminine sovereignty. But the queen in her regal nature is going to be really radiating in that joy. So I think that that's a beautiful place for where the queen could be living in your chart. Okay. Now we have Rim. I think it's Rim. I think that's how we say it. And Rim is a high priestess. Okay, so for Rim, let's see what she got here. Well, she's got, yeah, her Earth is in the 31, which is meaning like the foundation for this kind of leadership that is really paying attention to what everyone needs and looking to support people to create their own leadership, which is what democratic leadership is about. And then also to, not that everyone's needs can be met all of the time, because that's not how communities work, but to make sure that there is a voice for that. Okay. And so as she creates that as a foundation for herself, she's going to be able to create a foundation for her 41, which is that visionary fantasy imagination moving into the future. And so she's got this 41, which is where her sun is connected to the 30, which is a super potent gate. It's known as clinging fire. Or is it a new chart? It's funny. Oh, there it is. It's your north node. Okay. So, and it really amplifies the intensity of your chart. Okay. But the, what did we say? High priestess. So the high priestess, one of the things you do have is a fair bit of the knowing circuit. So you've got the 24, the 43, 23, right? So you're going to be plugged into super consciousness and going to be right through that big open head, bringing in the information from super consciousness through this part of your chart. And then you have it coming right up through the center here, through the 14, 2, and the 1. So, so that knowing circuit is operating for you here. And that's one of the places where the high priestess is. But also, just to go back to this 4130, right? This is the ability to have this imagination and this vision and this potent ability to create for yourself, but then to have the inner metal to be able to hold on to that vision, to bring it forth into fruition. So you've got those kind of working together. You also have this 38, which is here, right? Which is that energy of knowing what's worth fighting for, being able to discern what your terrain is, but then also being able to be visionary with it as well. So, and you might have some, let's see, what's your, we don't have a birth date on here, so I don't know how old you are, but you're a 6'2", so it may be that you're, depending on if you're under 50, that you may be still on the roof, as Ra used to call it, and then you may be waiting to come into more fruition of knowing exactly what your role is as you get a little bit more mature. I'm not quite sure about that. Oh, it's so hard to just do these for like a couple of minutes. Okay, so Teresa here is got the New World Leader. Okay, and this is interesting because she here has got the 45. She's got the whole money line here, the 45, 20, 21. And this is kind of the mark of, in traditional human design, it's even called the King and Queen Gate or the Sovereign Gate, right? But it may be that in Teresa's life, one of the things that she's done is to take that energy and to evolve it in her own life so that she now identifies more with some of the characteristics of the New World Leader. And I'm going to be curious to see about this, whether or not there is some more of that happening because there's so many more New World Leaders than there are queens, and to see if kind of what's happening is people who may have the 45 defined, but they may be identifying because of their life experience and the way that they've grown and evolved in their life, they're more identifying with the New World Leader, which I think is fascinating. So I want to be kind of checking that out and mapping that out. But this, this 45 is definitely leadership energy. So it doesn't surprise me that she's got the, one of the New World Leader there. And it is about the it is about the ability to be sovereign, and in its high expression, it's about a benevolent sovereignty, and it's about making sure that everyone has what they need. And so she may be focused on that and on that benevolence, and she may have expanded her vision into a larger terrain, as it were. She's got this 38 again. Do you see? Like, I think most of the charts actually that we've looked at have this 38 defined, which I think is really interesting. It's going to be fun for me to kind of go back and look and see how frequently things show up. She's got this 43, which is also that being plugged into super consciousness. What has she got? She's got a triple split here. Yeah. So having a triple split, she's gonna really do well being around a lot of people and being able to get her splits bridged by being around a lot of people. So it may be that that's something that an experience that has led her to be engaged in the world in a certain way. And then I just want to make one other comment here. My time's up, which is that her Mercury is in the 21, which is part of that money line that I was just talking about. And the 21 is really, in traditional human design, it gets talked about as like the CEO. So it's kind of like the person who's in charge of management and supporting the sovereign here, who's the 45. But it's in Mercury is here, which means it's part of what she's here to talk about, what she's here to speak about, and potentially what she's here to teach about. And look, the 38 is here as well. Plus, she's got the 38 double defined. So this is a big energy for her. This 38 is also, her Venus is also there. So this 38 is a big energy for her. And I bet that that is going to be a big piece for her in her new world leadership. And if you think about like Martin Luther King, right? Definitely a new world leader in many ways. All right. Moving on. Okay, I'm not sure. Let's see who this is. And so if I read your chart, please do let me know if this is landing for you. I'm going to read one more, and then let's see, which one is this? So we had Teresa. This is Becky. Yeah, this is Becky, who is a wise woman. Okay, well, so this one, she's got a couple of markers that are kind of obvious. So she's got the 48 defined, which is known as wisdom in quantum human design, or traditional human design is depth or the well, which is a wonderful gate for research and wanting to know. But she's also a first line. You can see she's got this first line profile. So first lines, traditionally the investigator, right? The ones who really want to, just want to know, just you get interested in something and you want to know, you want to know, you want to know. So digging in deep. And she's even got her son, her unconscious son is in the 11, which is the gate of ideas, right? So she's the first line. She's got the gate of ideas. She's got the 48. Okay. She's got two motors defined. So she's got plenty of energy. She's a manifester. So she's got plenty of energy, although she just need to make sure that she doesn't overdo it, because, we know that the will works to rest. And then we've got the two motors, and particularly the sacral, not defined. So you do need to make sure that you don't burn yourself out by doing too much. But this is a person who's got tons of ideas, loves to research, could be really good in enrolling people, which is definitely one of the things that the wise woman can do. Because if you think about the wise woman, I'm not sure how old this person is, but wise woman really in her fruition tends to be older. Okay. Not necessarily always, but tends to be older, because wisdom takes time. Wisdom takes life experience. It's not just knowledge. Okay. It takes life experience. And so she's got the time to be able to be maturing into that aspect of herself. But she's really got in spades this ability to enroll people. And to also initiate people here, okay, with these two channels. and really strong will energy here. Both of the heart centers are connected to each other. So she could be very heart-centered in how she's supporting people with the wisdom that she has. And she has the ability, she's got this open head and ajna, so she has this ability to be able to see different points of view, which is one of the key characteristics of the wise woman, is that she has experienced enough and seen enough that she's not just stuck in one way of thinking, but actually has multiple points, can see multiple points of view. And then here she can help others see that as well. And then with that, she can initiate people into higher consciousness. Okay, so I actually just want to stop for a second. So I think I've done 5 charts. And I just want to see if there are comments for people whose charts I read, how that landed with you. If there is anything, I don't know, Melissa, if you can help me out with this. You don't have to have the 48 defined. I hope that's being clear in order to come up with the wise woman. Okay. Okay, resonate with this so much. Thank you for validating. I'm 49 from Rim. Yeah, okay, great. Oh, she's on Facebook. Okay. Anybody else who's on here whose chart I read? No feedback so far. All right, well, we'll go ahead. Okay, Becky, yes. So do you have any feedback on what I shared? Okay, what does it mean when we have an opposing gate defined with someone else completing a channel? That means you have an electromagnetic with that person and you will be attracted. The electromagnetics attract to each other. Okay, well, I'm not getting other comments here regarding that. Lots of other comments about other things. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go back and start reading charts again. Okay. So how do we send in charts for a checked? I don't know what that means, Suzanne. I had sent out an email inviting people to send me charts, and last night was the cutoff. I may do another one for next time. Okay, let's dive into some more charts. Let's see, where are we? Here we go. Okay, here we have got Shelly. Shelly, and Shelly is, I think, a high priestess. I'm pretty sure that's what she said. So let's take a look at her chart. Okay, so we have another manifester here who's got 2 engines to her throat, right? So she's got both this channel defined and this channel defined, plus she's got 2 other channels coming down from her head. So she's got a lot of definition going into her throat. And so she does have this 4323 defined, which is again plugging into that super consciousness. But the main thing I would say, Shelly, looking at your chart here, is you just have a lot of power to be able to manifest and express yourself and to speak up. And let me see where, okay, so yeah, you've got your Mercury is in the 45, which is the Queen gate. Okay, and then where's your what's over here is the 22. Okay, and the 22 is emotional. And so this is what you're here to talk about, what's in your Mercury. So you're here to talk about this kind of tribal leadership, and to be a component of that, and to be expressing that kind of energy through the way that you share what it is that you have to share. Now, you might feel a little bit of a competition between what your head wants to say and what your emotions and your heart want to say, because you've got all of that energy coming into your throat at the same time. And so you might want to be kind of tuning into that for yourself and seeing if you have any kind of a challenge in terms of tapping into what is it that you really want to share. And also you might want to watch out for if you get a little stuck in your way of thinking, because that can happen when you have a defined ajna. But what I think that you have a lot of potential in terms of the high priestess regarding primarily just this really strong, powerful ability to express and to manifest and to lead. And it would be interesting to me to hear from you about what you relate to regarding the high priestess, or if you take it, because I think, Shelly, you told me that you took it more than once. And if that's the case, what is what your experience with that was? Okay. Oh, I forgot to do my timer again. Let me just see if there's anything else I want to say here in your chart. Well, one thing is your Jupiter is in the 31. So you've got both of the leadership gates defined in your chart, and your Jupiter is your blessings. So I would say that, you know, when you are able to really discover how to express yourself powerfully through from the heart, that you will have all of the leadership abilities that you could want, however you choose to express them. Okay. All right. This PJ is a New World leader in terms of what she got. All right. So interesting. Let's take a look at her. So she's a projector, and projectors in general are New World leaders, I think. She's also firmly grounded in her root. Look at all that energy down in her root. She could have a challenge in terms of having that really solid, strong, visionary, joyful, potent. There's a lot of potent energy to find down here, like really a lot. Look at that. She's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gates on her root defined. But she could feel a little bit of a conundrum from having her head in her ajna operating up here. And we've all been so trained to be living up in our heads. But she's going to get a lot of her power and authority from what's going on down here. And so that would be one thing I would just say to you, PJ, is to, oh, I gotta turn my timer on again. Is to really be connecting with that strong root energy, because, you know, you've got energy to start things, you've got energy to focus, you've got energy to be, again, we've got the 38 defined again. I mean, this has been coming up in almost everyone's charts. You got the 41, we've seen this before also, and the 39, okay, and the 58. All of these we've seen in other people's charts already, and I think the 53 as well. So because we need this and it's feels kind of counterintuitive that we'd have a lot of kind of visionary energy all the way down in the root. And yet, because we tend to think of it as like a pineal gland thing, right? Which you've got some going on up here, because you've got this defined ajna. Although you don't have it through the knowing circuit, you will have it coming through the sensing circuit. But I tend to associate, well, all of these are associated with the pineal gland. But anyway, my point is that your leadership energy is going to come primarily through that root energy. And so you want to really be able to ground it, even as you're receiving information from superconsciousness through that sensing circuit and through the head. And because it's sensing is in the body, and it's experiential, and that could help you to bring those two things together. And you do have, let's see, where am I? New World Leader, yeah. So that's where your leadership energy is going to be. Although, you know, you've got both of these, and these are both very supportive for leadership. And you've also got the 12, which is, I was associating that mostly with the High Priestess, because this is also the gate, there's my time, of the channel, and your ability to bring through information from the other dimensions and to express it. And that definitely could be a support for you as a New World leader. Okay.